Hello students, let's discuss ternary mixture separation from the practical course CHO 4106, that is organic chemistry practicals. So friends, as we discuss the syllabus of our practical course for the semester 1, we have part A, that is a three component or ternary mixture separation, and B part is a synthesis and purification and characterization of some derivatives. So the first part, that is A part, we are going to discuss today. So we need to do minimum 8 mixtures including amino acids. So friends, today I have prepared the slides for ternary mixture separation. So as you know that types of organic compound matter for the separation. So if you consider any organic compound, okay, any organic compound, it will be either one of the following. That means if I have a white powder, that is organic compound, that may be a pure powder, may be acid, phenol, base, or neutral. So what are the acids which commonly given in organic chemistry separation or organic analysis? So acids are nothing but all carboxylic acid come under this category. Okay, acids are nothing but all carboxylic acid. So what are the phenols which are present in organic chemistry? They are just a OH group attached to the any aromatic ring. So friends, AROH like phenol, naphthol, alpha naphthol, beta naphthol, and para nitrophenol, and so on. These are the compounds which are given as a phenol. Besides this, we are also provided cresol, metacresol, or paracresol. So these are the phenols which are available in organic chemistry for and most commonly used in a ternary mixture. What are the organic bases? All anilines or amines, I will say, they are organic bases. As the amines are not commonly used for the separation, most of the time substituted aniline or aniline itself used for the ternary mixture experiments. So friends, last is neutral. So neutral compounds contains various types or variety of functional groups, like alcohols are neutral, ketones are neutral, aldehydes are neutral, ureas, thioureas, even alkyl halides are neutral. So if we have neutral compound, then the hydrocarbons, I have not included that hydrocarbon. So all these compounds are come under the neutral type. So friends, if you have any pure organic compound, it may be acid, phenol, base, or neutral. So what our ternary mixture contains? Ternary mixture contains any three of these four compound. Okay, so among these four, we will have three type of compound mixed together. So we need to first determine the type of that mixture, and then we need to go for the separation. After separation, we will purify and record its physical constant, either melting point or boiling point. Okay, so let's begin with the fantastic part of this lecture, that is a three component mixture separation or simple preliminary test. So friends, before we go for any type determination or separation of any ternary mixture, three preliminary tests are very important for our analysis. They are the foundation on which we are going to determine the type, as well as we are going to separate out these three mixture. So what are these three important preliminary tests? First is nature. So you need to find out whether the compound or mixture is solid, that we can just write down solid, simple, liquid, or even if you found that the mixture contains some solid part and liquid part, you just write down semi solid. Don't write down liquid solid or solid liquid. Okay, just write down semi solid. So friends, this is how we are going to determine the nature parts. So this part is not that critical, and we are not getting much information from the nature. So next preliminary tests are very important. So next test, preliminary test, is ether solubility. And as we are doing a whole experiment in the ether, So checking ether solubility is very important and crucial for our analysis. So if we have solid, of course we are going to check the solubility. For liquids we doesn't need any kind of solubility test, okay, but we will, of course we will get the miscible ternary mixture which is miscible in the ether. So ether solubility, what ether solubility will give us, it will shows us this result: either all components are ether soluble or one component may be ether insoluble. If one component is ether insoluble, that mixture is said to be partially soluble mixture. Okay, only one component is ether soluble. Remember that. That means two parts are ether soluble and one part is ether insoluble. So from solubility test, what we got? Whether all the components are ether soluble or one component is ether insoluble. And third and important test is volatility test. Volatility test is for the liquids, of course. So from the volatility test, what we will do? We will check whether all components are non-volatile or whether the one component from this three component mixture is volatile. So either our mixture will be completely non-volatile or from the mixture there is one component which is volatile. So as the time passes we will see how the volatility test is carried out, but for the beginning I have selected one mixture, the demo mixture or demonstration of ether soluble. That means we are starting from here. So what we will do, we will do one mixture with all components are ether soluble and nature is solid. Then nature is solid and it is ether insoluble, that is partially soluble mixture. Then we will go for the liquids, that is nature is liquid and all components are non-volatile. We will do this kind of mixture and then we go for the liquid again and one component is volatile. So after finishing these four mixtures we will go for the semi-solid, in which there is a so many permutation combination of either soluble, insoluble, volatile or non-volatile liquids. So there are variety of mixtures we will discuss in semi-solid. So let's begin with the simplest one, that is nature is solid, and it is solid we are checking the ether solubility and we found that all components are ether soluble. Now the next next our job is go for the type determination. So what we assume, all components are ether soluble now. So how we are going to proceed for the type determination? Just take 0.1 gram of mixture, add ether and shake well. Of course we will get only a completely soluble part, that is the ether soluble part. So we need not to worry about the insoluble part as the all components are ether soluble. So we are over here and then we will proceed further. So I will focus on the ether soluble part now. So in the next slide we will start from the ether soluble part. So friends, this slide is very important slide of our presentation. So have a look on this. So we get the ether soluble part, then we will add 10% of NaHCO3 in it. So friends, once we add 10% of NaHCO3 in ether, so we will get two layers. One will be organic layer and then another will be aqueous layer. Of course we are using 10% NaHCO3, that means half part will be aqueous part, and as we are using ether, another half part will be the organic layer. So we will separate these two layers. Okay, we will separate these two layers, and in aqueous layer, if there is any acid, that acid will be forming sodium salt with this NaCO3. Okay friends, so in aqueous part what will happen, this NaCO3 will react with the acid component in this ether solution. If anything present like acid, it will form sodium salt with this acid. And then as you know that salts are soluble in water, it will be present in the aqueous part, whereas other parts like phenol, base and neutral will be in the organic layer. One more advantage of adding 10% NaCO3, that it will not react with the phenols. Okay, phenols are weak acids. Okay, phenols are weak acids, so this will not form any salt with the phenols. So friends, there will be no reaction with the phenols. So even they are weak acid, NaCO3 will not forming any kind of salt with them, so it will not go into aqueous layer, it will remain in the organic layer. So friends, as we got the sodium salt of acid in our aqueous layer, so we will check whether it is there or not. So if we add concentrated HCl in this aqueous layer, then that salt will be neutralized or acidified and we will get the ppt of acid. As the ppt obtained, we can say that the acid is present in our ternary mixture. So first type we will say that this is a acid which is present in the mixture. Now let's go for the organic layer. So that aqueous layer part is over. Now we will go for the organic layer. Now the time is to determine whether the phenol is present or not. So for that we will add 50% NaOH in our organic layer, that is ether layer. So whenever I am saying organic layer, that means it is a ether layer. So if we add 50% NaOH, now NaOH is a strong base and it will definitely form the salt with the phenols. NaOH will react with this H and will form sodium phenoxide here. As we are using 50% NaOH, we will get two layers again, organic layer and aqueous layer. In this aqueous layer, we will have this salt of phenol or sodium phenoxide. As salts are soluble in aqueous layer, it will be in the aqueous layer. So how we are going to reprecipitate this salt? We will add, after separating these two layers, we will add concentrated HCl in this aqueous layer. That's how the weak acid or phenols will be reprecipitated. If we found any precipitate in this after acidification, we can say that phenol is present in our mixture. Now friends, let's go for the organic layer. Now base or neutral are present in our mixture. So organic layer, for the determination of base, we will add 50% HCl. After adding 50% HCl in this organic layer or ether layer, we again get these two layers, aqueous layer and organic layer. Now as you know that adding 50% HCl, and if the base is present, it will form a salt with our base, that is a aniline and its derivative. So HCl will react with the NH3 and we will get this kind of anilinium chloride or ammonium chloride. So friends, as you know that salts are soluble in aqueous layer, we need to reprecipitate it out, and you already know that acid reprecipitate in acid, so base will again reprecipitate in the strong base. So as you know that NaOH is a strong base, then any organic base, to reprecipitate our aniline, we will add 50% NaOH in this aqueous layer. Once we add the 50% of aqueous NaOH, that is base will reprecipitate base, so it will be precipitating out our base. If we found PPT, we can say that base is present. So friends, if all these three types are present, neutral compound will not be there, because this is a ternary mixture. So only three components will be there. Organic layer we will get the neutral compound, and hence among these four we will only get three, as it is a ternary mixture separation. So don't be confused that after getting these three there will be a neutral. No, one of these three if absent, then only neutral will be present. So this is how we are going to determine the type of any ternary mixture. So if the nature is ether soluble. So let's go for the a demonstration purpose, I have taken the type. So suppose our type is phenol base neutral. How it comes? In the first test, we don't get any precipitate of acid, so we'll proceed our analysis, and we found that phenol is present, base is present, and neutral is present. So our type is, for analysis purpose, we have taken phenol base neutral. So let's see the separation scheme for our above type, or this type we will separate out. So some most of the time students start from the first step. So friends, look at the type. Previously the mixture was unknown to us, but now we know the type. That means we know what that white powder, or what that powder contains. It contains only phenol base and neutral, so we need not to do the test which are required for the acid, because acid is not present in that ternary mixture. So we will skip that part of acid and directly start for the phenol. So how we can separate out the phenol? We just add the 50% NaOH. It will form salt. It will be in the aqueous layer, and in aqueous layer we will add concentrated SCl and PPT obtained, or I will say phenol is obtained from that aqueous layer. We will separate it out. Then we will go for the base and neutral. So in aqueous layer, for the base we will add 50% SCl, which will form the salt and which will be in the aqueous layer. So friends, organic layer we will keep it for the neutral, but in aqueous layer we need to reprecipitate out this base, which is in the salt form with the SCl. So what we will do, we will add 50% NaOH. So precipitating out base is a very difficult task in my experience. So we need to add excessive amount of NaOH. We need to add excessive amount of NaOH, and on the other hand we need to cool that test tube. Only and only after cooling an excessive amount of NaOH the base will reprecipitate, otherwise it will be not shown in our test tube. So please remember that. So once we got the PPT, we say base is obtained. Okay, while determining the type we are saying base present, but now we can say base is obtained. Now the last component is a neutral. What we will do, we will add Na2SO4 in organic layer to absorb all the water content, and then we will filter it and evaporate the ether layer or organic layer. So remember, ether is very flammable, so you need to evaporate it on the water bath and not on the electric water bath, and not in presence of naked flame or in the presence of flame. So use electric water bath for ether separation, because ether is very highly explosive organic solvent. So very, you need to be very careful while performing this experiment. So once we get the neutral compound, we can say we are able to separate the type phenol base and neutral. So this is how we are going to first determine the type, and then we will go for the separation of obtain the type. So now the result time. So how we are going to get the result? So we will put it like nature, type, quantity, and physical constant. So all these points contains marks. So type contains maximum mark, then quality, quantity, and then physical constant. So what we will do, solid, solid, solid. Type will be, first solid is phenol, then second is base, and third is neutral, then quantity obtained, and then physical constant for each and every component, which is separated and purified. So this is how we are going to perform ternary mixture separation in our laboratory. So once this pandemic situation over, we will go for the ternary mixture separation. If you guys have any doubt regarding ternary mixture separation, feel free to ask me. Thank you. Thank you very much.